oh boy, the Dodge Charger. So the 6th generation Dodge Charger from 06 to 2010 brought it back from the dead.
It's alive!
And if you think of American muscle, most people think of the Dodge Charger. But just like any car, it has issues. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today to just better educate you about your ride or your future purchase. So the steering wheel angle sensor can become faulty, which would illuminate the traction control light. And basically you have to replace that sensor. You need to unplug the battery, remove the cover of the horn, pull the steering wheel, and you're finally getting access to the sensors. And it's really not all that hard as far as pulling steering wheels on cars go on this Dodge Charger. And I have the video and the replacement part linked down below for your convenience. I mean, that issue isn't all that bad compared to this fatal flaw that I'm about to mention. Basically, the valve seats on the 5.7 liter Hemi engines like to drop, and that's mainly due to uneven heat levels throughout the engine. Now, when the valve seat drops, you basically need to pull the heads, replace the valve seat, and hone the cylinder walls and replace that piston head. If you catch it in time, it's usually just one cylinder going bad. In 2009, the issue is fixed because they upgraded the heads with the yellow Brock heads. So if you have an 09 Charger, you should be in the clear. So what is a preventative fix for this fatal flaw? A flaw that can basically put this Charger into the junker. So one thing you can do to prevent this from happening is basically after long hot runs, letting the car idle for a good minute or two before you turn it off. This will basically even out the temperatures between the bottom of the block, the head, and the valve seats. You can install a lower temp thermostat and basically don't allow your car to overheat. The cooling fan bearing can ultimately fail, so replacing that fan with an upgraded one will prevent your car from overheating and in return prevent your engine from basically going bad. But the for sure fix for this issue is go ahead and pulling the head as preventative maintenance and replacing those valve seats with upgraded better ones that has better clearance. These cars can develop ticking noise. Now we have all heard about the Hemi tick. However, in most cases, it's probably just an exhaust leak. Basically the studs that attaches the exhaust manifold to the engine likes to break. And most of the time, the studs in the back of the engine, which are kind of hard to get to. Now, a lot of times these bolts like to break clean off the engine, and if that's the case, you might need to get a mobile welder or take your car to the shop to get them to weld a little piece onto the end of the bolt so they can get a pair of pliers and untwist that bolt. And after that, it's just a matter of reinstalling a new bolt. If the bolt snapped within the head, you will have to drill out the bolt and hone in new threads, which is not a fun job to do at all. The Hemi tick could also be caused by misfire. Basically, the needle bearings within the lifters can go bad over time over poor lubrication. Now, with these Hemi engines, you have the camshaft and the crankshaft. The crankshaft is turning and splashing up oil into the lifters, ultimately lubricating them. Now, long idle periods, I'm talking about sitting at a parking lot with the AC on for a long period of time, can prevent lubrication from getting to the lifters because it's not sloshing around as much. So if you end up getting a misfire due to a faulty lifter, that is definitely a fun job to do because you have to most likely replace the cam and the lifter because the lifter will be eating through that camshaft. So the shifter on the Dodge Chargers from 06 to 07 also likes to get stuck in any gear, but most of the time it's going to be park. Basically what you can do as a temporary fix is lift up the plastics, remove a few screws, and you can stick your finger in there and the shifter should move out of the place. But to fix this issue, you'll need to basically replace this pink interlock latch with an upgraded one, which I'll also have linked down below for your convenience, same as the how-to video. Now the key can also fall out of the keyhole, basically because you have too much crap on your key. Now this is an issue that most people won't have, but if you end up buying a fleet vehicle with a 2.7 liter with a 4-speed transmission, you may have an issue with the valve body getting too dirty and ultimately failing. So you have to replace that valve body because this transmission is basically the weak link of the 2.7. And these transmissions are in the Wranglers from 03 to 2011, the Jeep Liberties, the Dakotas, Dodge Durangos, Dodge Magnums. So if you have those cars, keep an eye out for slipping and poor shifts because that would indicate you needing to replace that valve body. Now, really the main issue with these Hemis is the valve seat dropping. And that's the main issue with these cars because that can ultimately tear up the entire motor. And if you don't have a mechanic friend or what have you, that can cost a lot of money and most likely you'll end up junking the car. And that's a sad thing to see. And after 100,000 miles, these cars are basically ticking time bombs. If you buy it used, you don't know how the previous owner drove it, so they could have neglected it in some sort of way that would ultimately leave you with a Dodge Charger that's about to drop a valve seat. So keep that in mind if you're buying a used Dodge Charger. Make sure the previous owner took very good care of it and they weren't dogging it out every single day. Whenever I see Dodge Chargers, because I do see them quite often actually, doing burnouts in the parking lot, seen that many times in the public parking lot. I don't agree with it. Anyways, I just think of that valve seat dropping. But that's basically it, guys. If this video helped you out, then I'll see you in the next video. I like to make these videos because hopefully I'll help a few of y'all out, and if I do, that'd be awesome. This is Chris at AutoMotivate. Always appreciate and respect one another. I'll see you in the next video.